Hey everyone, it's Ruth Stern and welcome to my three-part mini video series, The 3 Keys to Discovering Your Purpose. Now I'm going to assume that you chose to get this gift because you are someone who's yearning to find your purpose. And you have this voice inside of you that's nagging at you and saying, it's time, I really need to do this. But you're really not sure how to go about it. And you've been going for a long time now, not feeling this excitement, this joy in your career and your life. So you're ready. Well, great. So in this 3-part video series, I'm going to show you some key ways to get on the journey, to get on your yellow brick road. Remember from Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz? And she's really finding her way home. And I want to show you how to find your way to your soul's desire. That's your real home. And when you follow that desire, you're there, you're home, you're waking up every day happy and ready for the day and excited, unlike the 80% of people who are unhappy with the work they have. So your time is now. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my journey with purpose. And then in today's video, I'm going to show you some key, powerful questions that you can ask yourself to already find the clues to what your purpose is. So I think really all my life, I have been looking for purpose and happiness. Those are my top key things, and they still are. I never get off that path. I think if I did, not only would I be bored, but I wouldn't feel that joy that I yearn to feel. So when I went to college, I thought that I wanted to be a teacher. And it turns out that that wasn't what I wanted to do once I started doing full-time teaching in the high school. And my professor came to me and said to me, you know, I think you've got some really good skills to be a counselor. Why don't you go for your master's program? And it was a fluke. I went with it. You know, I listened to what they call the call. And there was an inner voice that said, you know, just go for it. You have nothing to lose. It's not that many more years. So I enrolled in the master's program in counseling, and I found I really liked it, and I was really good at it. And I became a counselor in elementary school. And that worked really well for a while. But then things were changing in the profession, and I didn't have that same excitement in what I was doing. And as a fluke, I volunteered in the last year of my work in the American Cancer Society. At the time, my father was dying of cancer, and I felt helpless. He was in another state, so I thought, I'll just volunteer, and that would help in some way. In the process of volunteering, I got to know some of the people that worked there, and the director offered me an interview for a job. And I thought, I don't have any experience, but as a fluke, I went on the interview. I did so well in the interview, they hired me to my shock because I didn't have the experience to be a director. All I knew was to be a counselor. But I realized quickly it's something I could learn on the job. And for 6 years, I was the director of the Cancer Society in one of the counties here in Florida. And I did very well. And I was able to help a lot of people in different ways. But there was another calling inside of me that said, you really want to be a counselor, go back. But I wasn't sure what I would be doing. So again, I volunteered. And I volunteered this time in a drug and alcohol facility. They let me do their education program, and I found it fascinating. And I got hired in a drug and alcohol job here in Florida. And again, excited. I was able to do wonderful healings and learn very powerful work in addiction work. But then there was another voice, and the voice said, it's time that you go on your own. But I was afraid. I knew that I wanted to counsel, and I knew I wanted to do my own business, but I was afraid to do it on my own for many reasons, financial reasons, getting out of my comfort zone, all the fears that we all have. But I followed the voice again, and I did it slowly, I built the practice on the side till I was able to build it into a full practice, which I've now had it for over 20 years. And then another calling came. I wanted to expand my practice. I wanted to make more income and serve more people, but I didn't know how. So I started investing my time and my money into learning how to market my practice and how to grow. And I was fascinated, and I immersed myself in it. And later on, I built a coaching practice as well as holding on to my therapeutic practice. In the coaching practice, I decided I was going to teach other practitioners and coaches and people in the service professions how to market themselves as well. Again, just following the tracks. And here I am today. I have my therapeutic practice and I have my coaching for entrepreneurs who are starting their business. And the way that it all happened is I paid attention. I listened for those little voices. I followed those tracks. I allowed my gut to go. I got out of my comfort zone. Those are some of the secrets to allowing it to happen. And when you're open and you're allowing, it's really magical. Things just start opening up. And here I am today, making more income than I ever thought I would, helping more people than I ever thought I would, and incorporating spirituality in all my work that I always thought would be more of a private thing, and I learned how to put that into my work as well. Another calling I listened to, and the calling was I needed to put spirituality in everything I did. And so here I am today, following my calling, and I know the pain that you feel when you're not in that purpose. It's like your life is kind of dead. Your life is just kind of stale. It's work, eat, sleep, and do it all over again. That's not why we're supposed to be here. We're supposed to be here to be happy, to be filled. But most of us don't either know how, or we don't take the time to explore, because there are courses and there are books, but many people just don't do it. So I hope this video series will give you the opportunity, or I should say you should take the opportunity to use this for you now. It's only 10, 15, 20 minutes of your time, but it's the beginning of allowing yourself to live a full, rich, meaningful life with more impact and more joy. So in this first series, what I'm going to do is show you key number 1, which is asking the questions. And what I've put together here are 6 powerful questions to help you really look at what your purpose could be, or paying attention to the tracks that will lead you to it. So all you need is pen and paper. The questions are also below this video, and I'll go over them with you right now. So you can stop and start the video. I would strongly suggest you do it now, because if you put it off, you're doing what you're doing in life, putting it off. Don't do that. Go for it now. Yes. Okay, so to start this exercise, what you want to do is have some quiet space, no interruptions. Take a few breaths, close your eyes. Allow yourself to sit where you're sitting, feel your feet on the floor and your back against the chair. You want that quiet space to quiet all the noise in your mind and outside. Because in that quietness is where you begin to know the deeper answers, where you can really write more fluidly and more will come up. Your subconscious, your inner wisdom knows everything already. It's just you have to take the time and the quiet to hear it. So the first question is, when you think of the career that you're in or the volunteer work that you do, what is the transformation you yearn for the clients that you work with? Like, there's something there that excites you to help them with. So write that down. What's the transformation you yearn for? What is the longing in your heart for the people that you serve? Like, what do you long for to help them? Do you want to help them with their emotional pain, their physical, their finances? What is it? And what's also important is to answer, why does this matter? Why does it matter that you can help them with their finances, or with their children's problems or whatever that is. Why does it matter? That's a big clue into what serves you in purpose. So pause the video, take some time, and then get ready for the next question. The next question is, that tags along with the first question is, what problems do I like to solve? Just in general, and don't judge it. If you like to solve crossword puzzles, write it down. Don't say, well, that's not a purpose for work. Just write it down, promise me, it all works. And just write down as many things of different kinds of problems you like to solve. The next question is, what do I love to learn and talk about? Some people love learning as much as they can about nutrition or how a car works or history, whatever it is. Write them all down. Again, don't think about, is this what I'm supposed to be doing for a career? The less you judge and the more you write, the better. And I'll explain at the end how this will all work. The next question is really important, where you're going to be thinking of a wound or a struggle that you have healed or transformed in your own personal life. And this thing that you have healed, you would also like to help other people with. Maybe you healed from a disease or from divorce or from some difficult situation, and you have so much that you would like to give other people as well to help them through that. The next question is, and it's a more thoughtful question, what do you want to be thanked for? What would you like to get gratitude about? And it can be simple things like, I like to be thanked for listening to people. I like to be thanked for that I uplifted them. So think about the things that you like to be thanked for. Write those down. And the last question is what makes you angry in what's missing in people's lives, what they struggle with? So for some of you, it makes you angry that there's, on a global level, that there's poverty in the world, that there's not enough jobs. So that's more global. But it also could be on a smaller level. It makes me angry. For example, for me, anger might not be the word, but I get really upset when people don't see their own power and they feel disempowered and they feel like a victim. That's a real big one for me that I really like to work with. So what is it that angers you that people struggle with? And what do you want to help them in creating the solution for that? So again, pause the video with each question and write it down, and you're going to get a rich amount of answers of things that really matter to you and your soul. Now here's what you do with all of that. After you write down the answers, begin to look at what you wrote and start circling what you start seeing in common. Many times you will see that in writing this, you have some themes that keep coming up. Like, you're always wanting to be with people and helping them, let's say, heal their pain. And then something else about healing pain. So you want to circle whatever seems to repeat. When you have a repeated pattern, that's another clue as to what your soul really wants, what lights up your soul. But sometimes we ignore it. For example, for me, I've always been lit up by spirituality, and I get so enlightened by it. But I always used it on a personal level. And then what I saw was everything that I do and I participate and learn about is about that. Then I'm also meant to teach it. And I didn't get that because I didn't pay attention to the clues on my yellow brick road. So I'm trying to help you not ignore it and really look at that. It's very, very powerful. So pay attention to that. That's your first key to discovering your purpose. And here's what you're going to learn in video 2. In video 2, you're going to learn how to follow your bliss, become the hero of your journey. This work is based on Joseph Campbell, who talked about the 12 stages of the hero's journey. It is a call to adventure. And what he's talking about is that inside of all of us, there's a call, a yearning for more. It's your soul's yearning. And when you recognize that call and you're open to it, that's when the true adventure begins, by accepting the call. Remember I told you about my story? It's like some of my professors said, why don't you do that? That was a call. I paid attention. I could have ignored it. Somebody else said, why don't you apply for that job? That was a call. I paid attention. Now, I haven't paid attention to all the calls. The spirituality one actually took me a long time. I just didn't pay attention. So as you pay attention to the call, you get on the road to your discovery. Just like Dorothy on The Wizard of Oz, she was on that yellow brick road to discover the path to her home. And that's what you're seeking. You're going home, your soul home, the home where you are alive and feel the excitement of the deeper part of you so that you can live your calling. So stay tuned for video 2. It's going to be a wonderful journey in helping you get through those stages.